too long, so I had to discontinue with that and start afresh. I was talking about types of structures. I've talked about space structure. If you're in the Visionary Parent Academy, you will see the video I shared this morning. I've talked about that, how the parents can possibly prevent that as a parent, creating a structure that prevents that. So now let's talk about another type of structure, safety rules. Like I said, everything in your home, how you want your home to run, that is what we talk when we talk about structure. We have safety rules. Rules that focus on your children, especially if you have young children. Rules that focus on their safety. Rules about their safety. So you want to sit down and create the rules. Confirm from mom, dad, or grown-ups before getting the doors for visitors. For example, you have a visitor knocking at your door as a child, as a family. You just tell your child, don't get a visitor. You can peep through the peephole to see who is there. Before you get the door, you must come and confirm. You can even say who is there. The person answers you. The person tells you their name or what they want. Then you go and confirm. You just don't open the door for anyone. You have those kind of rules in your home. I've seen a video on Facebook back then where a girl was almost kidnapped. What saved her was the person that was kidnapping her. The family has a code. They have a code in the family. So when the person came and said, oh, your mom said I should pick you up and things like that, and she asked the person, okay, if my mom sends someone to pick me up, my mom will give the person the code. What is the code? The person couldn't come up with a code. So the girl knew that that person was not from the mom, and that was how she was saved. So you want to have those kind of things in your home. You also want to have those kind of safety rules. Let's say sit, you don't jump about the living room. You sit with your books on the chair. You don't jump about. There are rules that make your child safe. Before you step outside to play, you must tell your mom or dad or the grown-ups. You have a nanny, you must always tell them, before you go out to play. Like one of the things I always tell my kids that you don't step out of the house to start telling an adult. No. Even if you are just opening the gate and going outside the gate, you must say, Mom, I'm going outside the gate. It is important that people around you know exactly where you are at every given time. We've seen situations before. We've heard of stories where someone will just step out of the house and the next thing, the family member will be looking for them. They will not see them, and the next thing they will just hear that something happened. I've heard stories before of maybe the person landed in the police station, the person got in an accident, and the parents were like, we were home together. We are home. He's not him. He's not my child. He's at home. He's in the room. And by the time the parents get to the room, the child is not there. It's hard to believe that the child that was with me a minute, a second ago is the same child that they are telling me a different story about. It doesn't make sense. So we always tell our parents, you always tell your parents where you are going to. Even if you are stepping out to the next compound, your parents should always be aware. These are kind of rules. Ask for help, depending on the age of your child. Ask for help before you use the kitchen gadget and all of that. Before you accept gifts from strangers. These are safety rules, part of your structure you put in place. What makes them structure is the fact that they are not just random. They are not things you just remember one day you tell your child. No, there are things there are expectations you demand every single time. That is what makes them structure. Expectations you demand every single time. You have moral rules also. Moral rules. Tell your children you tell the truth. Be fair to everyone. Apologize when you upset anyone. Do not hit anyone. Do not use mean words on anyone. You have moral rules. They are part of your structure. Again, like I said, what makes them structure is the fact that you just don't pick them when it's convenient for you. What makes them structure is the fact that you demand them every time and you are also part of it. That is it. Every time you say, we don't use certain words in my family. We don't use them. We don't use them. We don't use them. No matter who it is, we don't use them. It's not just at home, anywhere. They are not you. They don't describe you. They are not what we do in this family. That is what makes them a structure. We have our daily habit, which is also part of your structure. You brush your teeth every day, 2 times a day, morning when you wake up and you go to bed. And of course, the kids know why. You take your bath every day, morning before you go to bed. Oh, I'm back again. Thank you. Network threw me out. Thank you for coming back. Thank you. So they know why. They go to bed early. They know why. They wash their hands when coming into the house. They know why. They don't wear their shoes into the house. They know why, Like I tell my children, you go out every day with your shoes, You don't know all the things, all the gems you pick around all over where you are going to. You go to school, people pee indiscriminately, people. Oh, feel free to ask a question, please. Feel free to ask a question. People pee indiscriminately. People, even you have animals. Sometimes you have stray dogs. They just go somewhere, they poo, and all these things, they come with you. Your legs, your shoes step on them. You bring them into the house. No. So for that reason, we don't take our shoes into the house. For example, one of the things we do in my house is that when we are coming in from outside, we don't pass through the front door, pass through the back door. The reason is, if you pass through the front door, you are likely going to come in with your shoes. So if you pass through the back door, you get to the back. So the first person coming in enters through the front door. That person drops their shoes, enter through the front door, and goes to open the back door, and everybody else enters through the back door. You take your shoes, you drop your shoes at the balcony there, and you enter. So you have all these habits, healthy habits for your family. Either one pack, wash your hands before coming to the house. Either one pack of fixie drink a day. You say, how can you manage your relationship with a very annoying parent? Oh, how can you? What makes them annoying? What makes them annoying? That is one thing. Because the truth of the matter is, for parents, I don't think there's a parent that doesn't want their child no parent just wants to annoy you as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. No parent wants to annoy you. So sometimes parents do the things they do. They actually think they are doing you a favor, because really, it's not just that they are doing you a favor. Everything your parents are doing is for your own good. They are doing you a favor. Even if they say, oh, this particular friend, don't hang out with this particular friend, they may have seen something. It may be right, it may not be right. They may have an impression about that person. The impression may be right, it may not be right. But the truth of the matter is, they are trying to protect you. So when you say annoying, we want to know what is the annoying thing they do. I want to know that. And secondly, have you considered having communication? The annoying things they do, you need to sit down and understand where they are coming from. Why do they say this? If they say, okay, you are not allowed to use a phone, for example, you can consider that phone annoying. After all, I'm 16. After all, my friends have a phone. Why can't I use a phone? You can consider that annoying. But they have reasons, valid reasons, because phone can be misleading. It can be addictive. It can actually it can be distracting too. So they may actually have all those reasons why they don't want you to use a phone. And one thing that is the simple truth every teenager or young adult needs to know about their parents is that if your parents are always on your case, then there is every likelihood that you have not proven to them that you can handle yourself. If you have not proven to them that you can handle yourself, they will always be on your case. They will always annoy you. They will always disturb you and everything. But if you are able to prove to them that you are responsible, you can lead yourself, they will have the confidence to leave you. They want to give you freedom, but freedom comes with trust. Freedom comes with responsibility. And they need to trust you enough to be able to be responsible for your freedom before they give you that freedom. So if your parents still have to tell you, wake up in the morning, if they still have to tell you, go and do your chores, if they still have to remind you, wash your clothes, if they still have to remind you, read your books, if they still have to remind you of certain things, they may still be on your case. They will not want to give you that freedom. No matter how much you get angry, they may not want to give you that freedom because they do not trust you to be able to handle that freedom. They don't trust how you are going to handle that freedom. So I don't know what you mean by annoying, really. You said they see us less while others appreciate us more than our parents. They see you less. Well, my parents have a very old mentality and they are not renewed. very, very old mentality and they are not renewed. Well, I want to know exactly some of the things they do that actually make you think they have a very old mentality. Now, let's go. You said they see you less while others appreciate us more. I get that thing. Growing up, I had that issue with my parents. The truth of the matter is, they may think they are trying to motivate you. They may think, oh, if they praise you, if they do certain things, that it will get into your head, that you will be complacent. They don't want you to be complacent. They want you to be more ambitious. They want you to try for more. So they will want to push you. It may actually their way of pushing you beyond your comfort zone so that you are not complacent, you are not relaxed. You know how human beings can be naturally. When we feel we have achieved a particular feat, we just relax there. So it may be that they don't want you to relax. They actually want you to achieve more. So what you will do is, you keep doing your part. I don't know if you have a mentor. Get a mentor. Read books. I have a mini book, How to Get Along with Your Parents. I wish I have the e-copy. I probably would have sent it to you, you know. Do your part. Do your part in your relationship with them. One of the tasks I teach teenagers in church. One of the things I told them when they were complaining about their parents was, I told them, okay, take from now, and I will tell you the same thing. Take from now, take one whole week, begin to note everything they complain about. Begin to note it. Anytime they complain, write it down. Anytime they complain, write it down. After writing it down for like 7 consecutive days, start a challenge. Tell yourself all these things they complain about, I am going to stop doing this, or I am going to start doing what they want me to do. I am going to start doing them. What they want me to stop doing, I am going to stop doing them. Challenge yourself. Do that for the remaining 1 month, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see if there will not be a change. My parents refer to us to their own life experience. I want us to follow the old system of life. Okay, old system of life. I really don't get exactly what you mean by old system, but one thing is, again, like I was saying, if you are able to prove to them, I'll give you a practical example. I don't know if you know this woman, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She went abroad, I think Harvard or so, and then she studied, I think, literature and English. She studied. Meanwhile, when she was in Nigeria, she was in the University of Nigeria, she was studying medicine. Now, maybe everybody then, because her doctors, her parents were in academia before they passed. They were academians, you know, maybe lecturers, working in schools. So it was natural. And when I was growing up, in my time, it was just medicine. You are studying medicine, you are studying law, you are studying engineering. Accounting was not even so much of a thing then. Medicine, law, those were the major courses, engineering. If you're not studying those ones, then you were probably an olodo. Also, there was no allowance for you, no excuse for you not to study medicine or law. So I'm sure her parents were also like that. But guess what? When she got a scholarship to study in Harvard, it didn't bother, it was no longer an issue whether it was literature and English she was studying or it was medicine, because studying in Harvard already was a guarantee for her future. So her parents had no choice than to support her. So why am I trying to say this? If your parents want you to follow the old systems, and you know that this old system is not it for you, you have better ideas, you know better, you know, you want to prove to them. I don't have Chimamanda's full story. I don't know if she actually ever wanted to study English or she went to medicine because of sentiment, parents, and all of that. I don't have that details. But looking at studying medicine and looking at studying English and literature, you know, what made the difference for her parents was the fact that she got a scholarship to study abroad. That was a proof. So one of the things you want to do is you want to show proof to your parents. You want to show them proof that, okay, your systems are superior, your ideas are superior. You just don't expect them to change when they have not seen proof. Like you said, they are your parents, which means they may not even be millennials. Maybe they are, back then, they were born. So the systems are the same. They have refused to evolve. So one thing that can help you reach their heart is for you to show them proof. So what is that thing that they keep complaining about? What is the system you want them to drop or to pick up? Show them proof. They will fight your decision and tell you that you have no experience. That is what I am saying now. Show them proof. Show them proof. Because if you keep telling them, oh, this is what you want to do, you are not showing proof. Okay, let me give you another example. Someone told me of a girl who wanted to, the parents insisted that she was going to study medicine, but she loves to draw. She loves to draw. The parents insisted it was medicine or no other course for her. Okay, the girl was writing her JAMB. Even while writing her JAMB, she was still drawing, and then she was still talking to people. Luckily for her, she met someone who knew someone, and that was how her artwork got to, I don't remember the particular state governor. The artwork got to the state governor's place. They loved the artwork. They were able to help her sell it, and she got a contract. She got a contract to make drawings, paintings for one place. That was the proof. By the end of the day, the girl till today, she has not entered school. Why? Because the contract took a lot from her. After the contract, she was getting contract upon contract. That particular drawing had taken her to places. She's just wanting to deliberately now take a break and go to school officially. This time around, her parents are not even talking about medicine. They're talking about probably she should just get something that will help her craft. So because she has been able to show them proof, she did not fight her parents. She did not disobey them. She was still going to study the medicine. But while planning to study the medicine, she was still doing her thing. And her thing opened way. So her parents naturally now just are supporting her. So that is it. So I said, parents should believe in true God and learn faith and parenting. Yes, every parent definitely should learn parenting. It is super important. Telling you that you are a child, you should live your life the way they want, even if there is a helpful advice. Aside from, they don't care. Like I said, you keep showing them proof. You don't disobey them. One of the things that happens is you disobey them, they keep opposing you. While you are obeying them, you keep doing what you are doing. Whatever it is you want them to do. As long as no parent will ever lead their children astray. No parent will ever deliberately say they want to lead their children astray. They always want good for you. That is something that is a fact. I have never seen or heard a parent who want to deliberately do evil to their children. So they always mean well for you. So what you want to do is to, while you obey them, while you follow them, you also if you have maybe your passion, your video, something you can do, find a way to balance it so that you can show them proof at the end of the day. Once they are convinced, you will not have any issues again. You can also always encourage them to. One of the things you can do is, as you are listening to this now, if you have a phone, you may recommend books to them. They may not want to listen to books, but whenever you hear someone preaching about parenting, you can put on the volume, let them be hearing. They can hear one message, and that message may transform their hearts. Okay, so I've talked about healthy habits. You also need, if you have any questions, please put it. I'll take it. I hope that question helped you. That answer helped you. Show them proof that what you want is actually doable, that you are not going astray, that you are not making wrong choices, because that is what parents fear the most. They fear that their children will make the wrong choices. And no parent wants to see the child make wrong choices. That is the truth. No parent wants to see the child make wrong choices. Because when children make wrong choices, parents become guilty. They feel guilty. They feel unhappy about it. So we do not want that. It is why we do everything we do to make sure they don't make wrong choices. So let's talk about rules for social skills. You also create rules for social skills. Structure it. Social skills. Share your toys, take turns, give a polite no, and all of that. Then some of the major rules you should have. You have like your TV rules. It is a big one. TV rules. Structure your television so that your children will watch television and not the other way around. So what do you want? How do you want them to? What do you want them to do with screen time? How do you want them to handle screen time? Do you want them, okay, no gadget until a certain age, or no television during school days? You want to sit down and understand that, because it's not just about, oh, just create random structure. Like I always say, you can say no screen, no screen during the weekend, no screen until your weekend. Some families have no screen till weekend. Some families have no screen until during the holiday. They are all screen time rules, but you want to make sure that you understand why it aligns with your vision and your goals. For example, for me, it is no screen until weekends, and that's because weekdays is not even realistic. They are super busy, come back from school, they have their chores to do, so there is no time to squeeze in television. By the time they are squeezing television, is enough for them, it's too much for them, they are overstimulated. So no television until weekends. And even the weekends, our TVs are planned, they are structured, they are not just random, watch ever what you like. So you want to look at your television. What rules? How are you going to structure your television? Are they going to allow them to watch television all day? Learn that structure. You have to have phone rules also, gadgets. Maybe for your teenagers, you say no password, no sharing of hotspots without permission. You cannot just come and share you can't come and share my hotspot without permission. No taking of phone to school, no visiting of unauthorized websites, no chatting with random strangers, no sharing of phone numbers or handlers or handles with random strangers, no bringing of a friend's phone to the house, no joining of random groups, no using of phone in the church. Use your Bible. For weekend, phones are allowed only in after chores. For school days, phones are allowed between 6:30 to 7:30. You want to have structure gadget use. Then we are also talking about pack, be responsible. What are you structuring around responsibility? Pack your plates after meals, return toothbrushes, return things, put things where you met them. Like I tell my children, everything has a home. So return everything to their homes after use. If you have the family structure guide, you have all these things I'm sharing in the family structure guide. You also need to structure your meal time. I just talked about responsibility. You also need to structure responsibility at home. Like, be responsible. I don't mean chores now, I mean being responsible. You have certain ways you do your things, how you want your things to run. I don't want you to finish brushing your teeth, the toothpaste cover is lying there, the next person is looking for it. No. I don't want you to comb your hair, the next person is looking for the comb. No. I don't want to have to come to the kitchen, I'm looking for my spoons, I'm looking for my dishes. No. Talk about mealtime rules. What are your meal times? Structure your meal time. Is it that everybody eats together? Is it that anybody can take the food to their rooms? You can eat in your room. You can eat anywhere you like. What are your mealtime rules? You structure your mealtime. Is it that, okay, once a week, everybody must have a meal together? Is it that when we set the table, we wait for everybody to get seated before we start eating? Then once a month we have a proper dining, a fine dining, where we set the table. We have 3-course meals, we have 2-course meals, we set the table, everybody sit down, you are dressed properly. You structure your meal time, because meal time is an integral part of the family. Bathroom, you should also structure your bathroom. Every aspect of your life, every aspect of your parenting. What happens when parents don't structure this aspect is that we keep being random. You are always yelling, you are always shouting, you are threatening, and most times you are smacking, because there is no structure. Now, I have mentioned very many areas in your parenting you should structure. If you have the parenting structure guide, you can use it. You have your bathroom too. You structure your bathroom. Visitors and how do you function? How do you operate when you have visitors? You have that structures. You have that structure too. Money rules. How do you handle money in your home, your children? We have some homes where a visitor comes and gives a child the money, the next thing the child runs off to buy something. You know, we have some homes where the children are taught, okay, you are going to save your money, put some in your piggy bank, which is saving, put some here for charity, put some here for offering, put some here for yourself, put some here for your siblings. We have homes that do that. We have some home that says, okay, if your money is up to 50,000 naira, you give it to me and I'll help you invest it and I'll be giving you interest. We have homes. So how do you handle your money, structure your money? Otherwise, your children will just have money. The next thing, they are running off to buy things and you are yelling. You are yelling about it. Holidays, we have our holidays too. Deliberately structure your holidays. In this guide, I have holiday reading plan. It is here. If you have it, you can actually help your children structure their reading in the holiday. I've talked about one of the reasons why children, when you structure reading, because it is one of the aspects many parents want to structure reading. I want my children to love reading, so I've created time for them to read. I've created space, because we talk about space. Hi, hello, thank you for joining. I've talked about space, so I've bought a table, reading table for my children. I've created corner, I've designed it for them to read, and I've created time. They know the time they're supposed to read, yet they are not interested in reading. And I've said this over and over again. Reading normally is not interesting, it's not fun, so your children will not like to read. Bible study plan. You want your children to get into the habit of reading the Bible every day. And this is super important. Like I always tell my teenagers in church, especially if you're a teenager, if you're a parent of a teenager and you're a Christian, I tell my teens in church every day that, see, they go out every single day and they get things getting into them. They don't plan it. You don't plan to see what you see. You go to the salon to make your hair, you are going to see things you didn't plan to see. You are walking along the road, you are going to see things you didn't plan to see. You are going to hear things you didn't plan to hear. So one of the things you can do for yourself is to constantly renew your mind. Constantly renew your mind is one of the things you can actually do for yourself, you know, to help you to purge yourselves of these things you keep seeing that you didn't plan to see. So if you want, you can structure Bible study. You look at it, look at what is realistic. Oh, my kids go to school every day. They may not be able to study the Bible every day. Fantastic. 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Oh, they have a lesson teacher coming after school. Okay. If the lesson teacher or they have something else, they practice music or anything after school, or they are in mentorship classes. You can say, okay, their mentorship classes 3 times a week. Let's put Bible reading 3 times a week too. That's the days they don't have their mentorship class and things like that. We have reading self-help book. You can structure for them. Okay, I have a template here for weekly routines for your teenagers also that you can use. We have personal goals for things. So the idea is just for you to create a structure for your entire family. Structure that will make everything seamless and less chaotic. See, let me tell you something. When you don't have structure, or when you have not structured a particular part of your family, you realize that it will always be chaotic. The part you have not structured, you always experience drama, chaos, fights, all of it, because that part of it is not structured. It is well as a parent, every aspect. We started by saying that, what are the things you want your children to stop doing? What are the things you want them to start doing? You need to note them, write them down, not just note them mentally, write them down. That was the first thing I said. So I went further to say, for you to understand, for this to be easy for you to do, go over all the things you complain about. So what you want to do as a parent is take your writing materials, your pen and your paper, all the things you complain about. From now till maybe weekend, begin to write all the things you complain about. Everything they do that gets you, that makes you complain, every single thing. Write it down. Okay, they are not reading now. Write it down. Okay, they are not, what is it called? They didn't do their chore on time. Write it down. Okay, their clothes are scattered everywhere. Write it down. This is everywhere. Write it down. This is everywhere. Write it down. Note all the things that you complain about. Those are the things you are going to structure. Structure simply means how you want this thing to be done from now on, how you want them to operate, how you want your house to run, not just random. Your structure is, you are not waiting for them to do those things before you talk. You actually putting systems in place that that helps them do it, that at least teach them to do it, or holds them accountable for doing it. And when they are not doing it, your system also will give them the consequences. Now, this is why next week we are going to talk about consequences. That is how we wrap up consequences for your structure. Because at the end of the day, your structure is towards your vision. Structure is building identity. And your consequences is such that will walk along with your structure. Your structure is not just some kind of random thing, random thought, something you just pick along the way and you talk about it. No, you are calculative, you are strategic, you are intentional. It is why before you create your structure, like I always tell them in the Visionary Parent Academy, you have to understand the system, everything in your home, what is realistic, what is obtainable, what is not realistic, what is not obtainable. You understand all of that. You bring them to the table before you think of creating your structure. So consequences are definitely part of your structure, because if you are saying, because children, if you are saying do this, this is how we want to operate, this is how we don't want to operate, children will test your limits. Yes, they will test your limits. Some children, they want to know how serious you are. They will test your limits. So what do you want to do when they begin to test your limits? There is something you are putting in place to tell them that this is serious business. We are serious this time around. It's not just talk and go like before. So that is why next week is all about consequences. So I hope you've learned a lot today, because I've mentioned quite a number of things you can structure in your home. Chores also, your responsibility. Who does what, when it is done, it has to be part of it, so that children don't wake up and say, I'm the only one doing this. Why am I the only one always doing this? If in this guide, we have daily chore chart for 3 children. You can tweak to the number of children you have. For example, we have chores Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have Bola, Musa, sweeping, dishwashing, flower watering, what's the other one again? Feeding the pets, emptying the garbage, cooking, all of that. The children will take turns. You have your chore chart, roster, put there. I remember when my kids didn't have roster. Now we don't have roster again, because they've gotten into the system. They know what is expected of them. That is one thing about structure. After, when we say culture is a way of a people, after a while, you don't need to remind them again. They just naturally flow into it. I remember when my kids, then we didn't have a roster. They were still younger. I was trying to give them responsibility. Every day, it was always, I was one that did this yesterday. I was one that did every single day. And when they bring it to me, Steph, I will forget. I will forget. I'll be like, yes, because, there were just 2 of them doing the things. Yesterday would not look like them before yesterday to me. Me too, I will forget, until I said, no, everyone, we had to create a roster, and then we had to create a to-do list. Every day you write your to-do list, every single day. You don't write it that morning, you write it the night before. So if you swept today, by 6 o'clock, you wouldn't have forgotten that you were the one that swept, and you write it down. So by the following day, it was easy for you to do, okay, I swept yesterday, this is it, because you had their to-do list. That's something about structure. It helps them build. Remember I said structure leads to system, and system builds culture, and culture shapes your child. So the idea of creating your structure is actually to shape your child, teach them responsibility, independence, taking initiative, teamwork, and a lot of it. So I've shared a lot of areas you can structure in your home. I think I've shared almost everything here. Your meal plan, yes, another one. If you have children who are picky eaters, who don't like to eat certain food, like my daughter, who they are always dramatic. One of the times you have chaos in your home is when it comes to meal. They don't want to eat certain meals. You can also structure it. If you've been here in the previous classes, you will know we talked about how you create your structure. You just don't wake up and create your structure. Everybody must be part of it. So when everybody is part of it, you present your factors, your reasons, your whys, and everything. You present it to them, and everybody understands why they have to key into it. So if you have any questions, do where to ask. And if you are not in the Visionary Parent Academy, you want to join us, please send a message, because you definitely need to join us. And next month is our Becoming an Emotionally Intelligent Parent Challenge. You also need to join that challenge, so that you can move from, because you can have structure, and if you are not emotionally intelligent, you will see yourself still reacting. You will see yourself still not calm enough to implement your structure. It is why parents will they will say, oh, if you do this, I'll do that. This is what you get for doing this. And at the end of the day, when their child does this, they are not going to do that. They are just going to react on the spot. So you hear parents that say, I will not hit you, I will not yell at you. If you do this, this is your consequence. When a child does that thing, it's a different ball game. They are not carrying out that consequence. Not because they don't want to carry that other consequence, because their emotions are not, maybe their emotions are all over the place. So maybe they are overwhelmed, they are stressed, or they are just at that time, their emotions are all over the place. Because of that, they are not able to go through with the consequence they promise. And guess what? When you tell your child the consequence, you don't go through with it, it is definitely a minus for you, because the less you do it, the more you do it, actually not go through with your consequence, the more your child is not able to trust you, the more your words become empty. Empty threats. They will say, he cannot do more than a dead rat. It's only mouth he can make. He can't do action. Doesn't have action to back it up. The more your child has that mindset, that is one of the ways see finish enters in your parenting. When parenting say, parents will say, if I play with my child will see me finish. Your child will not see you finish, you play with your child. There are so many other things you do that your child will see you finish. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have a question, do what to ask. And if you want to join us in the Visionary Parent Academy, send a message and we'll be glad to have you, to welcome you into the family. And remember, our cost for next month is 10,000 naira. Registration, early bird registration ends in 3 days. After that, the registration becomes 15,000 naira. So you want to quickly register for the Becoming an Emotional Intelligent Parent Challenge. You want to quickly register for it so that we can grow together in parenting. We can parent with calmness and not chaos together. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time. Bye-bye.